Hey guys, it's me JSHDIY and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be testing out some no glue water slime recipes to see which of these recipes work to make slime and to see how we can possibly make slime using these new unique recipes. The notification squad shoutouts of today's video go to Sherry Road, It's Miraculous Life, and also Leah. The first no glue water slime recipe I am going to be testing out today is this 3D printer filament recipe. Okay, so I keep seeing this recipe floating around that says if you take this 3D printer filament and add boiling water, it becomes slime. And apparently there is some polyvinyl alcohol inside of this tubing, which basically, if you guys don't know, polyvinyl alcohol is PVA, which is what is inside of glue that makes slime when we add borax to glue. So I have been super intrigued to see if this water slime recipe works, so we're going to be testing it out right now. So starting off, I had to order this from Amazon in order to test this recipe because personally I do not have a 3D printer and I definitely did not have this stuff at home. And the 3D printer filament was around $30, which is extremely expensive in my opinion for something like this, especially if you're just using it for slime. But apparently if you take the 3D printer filament and add boiling water, it will start to melt. When I poured the hot water onto the 3D printer stuff, I instantly noticed it started to soften up even though it had a plasticky consistency beforehand, and I noticed it was becoming a little bit more malleable and was sticking together, and I also noticed the water was becoming more opaque as I stirred around the 3D printer filament, and this looked just like a bowl of pasta, especially when you're like mixing the pasta in a pot of boiling water. So this was giving me very much pasta slime part 2 vibes when I was doing this. But after a while I decided to take out the pasta, aka the 3D printer filament, because I wanted to feel what the texture felt like, because it just didn't seem like it was changing that much. And I noticed it kind of felt the same, except for it made my hands a little bit sticky. So I put it back in the water and I just continued to mix it, but nothing was really melting. Obviously you guys can see the water was becoming more opaque, but the actual 3D printer filament was not melting even when I was mixing it a ton. So I decided to take it out and finally do the last step, which was to add in some borax activator. So I just made a little bit of borax activator and I added this in, even though the water just seemed too runny to have any sort of polyvinyl in there that could be activated. But I thought maybe we could make like a jiggly slime or something, even if it was super over concentrated with the water. So I made a concentrated borax solution and added this in, and some reason literally nothing happened. It didn't activate or anything, which made me a little bit suspicious that this recipe was not working. But I still figured it just had to do with how much water was in the actual polyvinyl filament solution and how thin and runny it looked and how we were not able to make the 3D printer filament. So I decided to dunk the 3D printer filament inside of our bowl that had the borax solution as well as the opaque water that we created from originally putting the filament in the boiling water. And I noticed when I took it out that it was all sticking together. It almost felt like you took a ball of yarn and covered it in slime because it was all sticking together. So I decided to put it back into the water to see if it did anything again. And it just kind of did the same thing, which I was so confused about. And I didn't know why it wouldn't melt in the water, because I could tell there was polyvinyl or something on there that was like activating, but unfortunately this was a fail just because I couldn't get it to melt. So if you guys know what I did wrong, please tell me, because I am kind of sad that this did not work. Next no glue slime recipe we are going to be testing out is one that was sent into me by one of you guys asked me to test out a recipe, and you guys said that you found out that the Gain Ultra dish soap that is blue and says on it bleach alternative makes slime when you add water to it and salt. And apparently this slime is supposed to be very concentrated, in that this specific Gain dish soap is the one that works. And so you guys wanted me to test it out, so of course I got the things to do it and I wanted to test it out right now. Into my bowl, I added in the dish soap alongside a bottle of 12 ounces of water, and I also added in the salt. And apparently the dish soap has an ingredient that is used to cut grease. So apparently if you add salt and water into this and let this dry for a pretty long time, it is supposed to make slime. And honestly, I of course believe this because I've made a lot of dish soap slimes, and the ingredients in dish soap do pair very well when you add water and salt to it, because if you let it sit, it will turn into slime from the ingredient and chemical pairing. So I let this slime sit for 3 weeks and 6 days, so almost a full-on month. And after letting it sit for a long time, I could see that the level of soap that was in the bowl was lower than before, which allowed me to know that it had evaporated a bit, and it was super sticky at first touch. What I added in a little bit more salt to reactivate it, and it ended up being very good. So this recipe was a success. For this next recipe, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make slime with soft soap hand soap and just water. Soft soap hand soap is one of the jiggliest hand soaps ever, and if you add in just a little bit of extra water and a little bit of salt, mix everything together extremely well until it is fully consistent in texture, and let this sit for a couple of weeks depending on the size of slime you are making. It will become slime after it has dried out. So here is what my slime looked like after letting it sit for 2 weeks. I let my slime sit for 2 weeks because I made a large amount of slime, but as you guys can see, at first glance, it looks extremely runny, and that can be because the salt only affects a certain area, and this is what happens when you don't fully mix your hand soap. So unfortunately, I'm realizing at this point that I didn't mix it super well, but this is not a super huge problem because I then just mixed the slime together afterwards. But this is why you want to mix your salt in for a long time and mix it together for as long as possible. For the next water slime recipe, I am going to be showing you guys how to make water slime with any shampoo. So starting off, in a container, you want to add in a couple tablespoons of salt. And then to that, you also need to add in a little bit of rubbing alcohol and mix until the salt is fully dissolved into the rubbing alcohol. On top of that, you need to pour in your shampoo that you are using alongside a little bit of water, and you want to mix everything together until fully well combined. And you will know you have mixed enough when there is no water floating at the corners of your container. I let my slime sit for 2 weeks for the rubbing alcohol to fully dry out the shampoo alongside help from the salt. And as you guys can see, we have a fully formed perfect slime, especially because I mixed my slime extremely well before letting it sit. The formulas vary between every single shampoo so much, so this recipe I was super excited to share with you guys because we're able to dry out a shampoo into slime without having to rely on the exact ingredient levels because we are adding in the rubbing alcohol to dry out the shampoo. Soap slimes can be so hard because every single shampoo and soap is different, which means you can't activate it exactly like in a video unless you're using the exact type of soap, and even then it can be hard because just a little bit of extra or not enough of an activator can make or break a slime. And also, even different batch codes from shampoos can make a shampoo fully different even if it's the exact same brand and exact same scent. The next water slime recipe I wanted to test was one also sent in by a subscriber, and this subscriber said that they came up with this recipe just through logical reasoning. They said starting off into 2 different containers, they added shampoo into one, and then into the other one, they added in some Listerine alongside PVA nuggets, and then they added in some salt into the shampoo and mixed it well until fully combined, and then into the Listerine, they just mixed it until the PVA nuggets were fully immersed into the Listerine, and then they also added in a little bit of water to the shampoo to make it jiggly and also for activation, and they mixed the shampoo for 15 to 20 minutes. Then they said to let these 2 bowls sit to evaporate for 2 weeks. So that is exactly what I did, and when evaporated down, she said that both of the slimes should be clear, and then you should mix the 2 together to achieve a thick texture. So I have never made a slime like this before, so I was very excited, and after around 2 weeks, this is what my slimes looked like. So the PVA nugget side, I realized, was not fully transparent, which I figured was just because of the PVA foam nuggets, and then on the other side, the shampoo slime was a little bit sticky, but it was fully crystal clear and just felt like your classic shampoo water slime. So after mixing those 2 together, it felt very thick. It also smelled super nice and minty because of the Listerine mouthwash. As you guys know, at the end of every single video, I try to mix something into slime, and in the past week, I have not been doing this as much, so today I figured we would do 2 mix-ins to make up for that. So the first mix-in I wanted to do was these little Japanese hamburger candies, and then the next one we'll do after this is going to be Jell-O. So enjoy the ASMR and mixing. I've wanted to mix Jell-O into slime for so long, so I was so excited to do this. But before we mix it in, comment down below what your guys' guess is for what will happen to our slime once we mix the Jell-O in. Sadly, the Jell-O melted our slime, which was extremely messy. Comment below if you guessed this correctly. Video that you guys just watched is actually my first fully finished video from October. The school supplies video I actually had been filming all of September and even before that and had it all edited. But because this is my first video in October, I wanted to share with you guys my September favorites from last month. So my first favorite was this little piggy bank that was sent to me by Jay Strong. It is the cutest thing ever. Help me name her in the comments below. Second favorite thing is this candle. I've been loving using candles recently just because it makes me feel so cozy and fallish, and this candle smells like pine, so I love it. And then another favorite of mine was this lip balm that I got when I was on vacation in the mountains, and it is this Dior Lip Glow lip balm, and it's been really great for fall because I get chapped lips. And then my last favorite that is not slime related are these slides from a company called Eddie's, and they are so comfortable and I love wearing slides, so these were my favorite. And then my final favorite was this rainbow prism that I use all the time for my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and hanging out with me today. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure that you are subscribed so that you never miss a video, and also make sure that you have the notifications on. You guys can follow me on Instagram at JSHDIY to learn a little bit more about me, and I will see you guys later today on one of the videos up on the screen. Bye guys!